Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be interviewing yet another stand-up comedian friend of mine from the Bay Area, and her name is Nicole Turley. She's a very funny, very quirky stand-up comedian, originally from Oregon, and then she came down to the Bay Area to follow her comedy dreams. And yeah, so I will be interviewing Nicole Turley, and she's really awesome. Yesterday I announced that I'm going to be turning 35 this week, and I'm still, kind of tripping off of that because I feel like I'm going through a pre-midlife crisis and everything. But I'm very optimistic and hopeful for the future that all my dreams and my goals will be accomplished before the 5-year mark is up, before I'm 40. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So yeah, here is my interview with Nicole Turley, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hello?
Hey Nicole, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, so I clock on at 4, but I do need some time to get in my work clothes and all that good stuff. So could you let me know when it's about 3:30, 3:40?
3:30, 3:40?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just let you know. Sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier.
God, I wish I knew earlier. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's just I work all the time, literally.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Gonna be 35 in a couple of days.
Oh, well, congratulations. Cool.
Yep.
And
And
you do this? Is this you do this podcast like weekly, day? Like how frequently do you do this?
daily, weekly, I post the videos all the time on YouTube.
Oh, cool. So that's neat. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, and I put the videos on Facebook and Twitter and all that.
Oh, neat. Okay. How are you liking it?
I'm loving it. I mean, I'm just meeting all these contacts, all these like cult movie stars and stuff that I grew up watching, all the comedians I grew up watching, and establishing relationships with them. It's just phenomenal, I'll tell you.
Cool. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you never know you never know what you're going to get with these interviews. I mean, you're gonna get like insight and wisdom, or you're going to get like bitterness towards the industry.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Cool.
So, were you always funny growing up?
Oh, I don't even know if it's something I considered. I don't know if I was funny. Comedy and performing comedy has been a fairly recent development. I was always very stubborn and feisty and a little bit ADHD and kind of weird. That was always a thing. Imaginative.
Like me, yeah.
But comedy, yeah. When I was like growing up, I mean, comedy that was not a girl thing. I mean, at all. So very much so. But yeah, but it's just I think people change and stuff all their life. I mean, I wish I discovered comedy sooner, but I'm happy with what I'm doing now. So.
Yeah. Did you love stand-up as a kid, though?
Yeah, I did actually. I did. I always liked watching it. I liked sketch comedy, Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
I liked real satirical stuff. I was a big. This I came I came to later. As a young adult, like the South Park crew. They're probably like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. All their stuff is
Yeah.
stuff I really. But I enjoy all forms of comedy. Not just. I mean, stand-up is great. But I like all forms. Of creating humor.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have music as kind of their outlet.
Yeah.
As far as when there's, but comedy for me was just, I have a lot of negative emotions and a lot of, stuff like that. And comedy for me was always the best way to kind of turn those negative emotions around.
Yeah.
So,
I certainly get that.
Excuse me.
So who did you like in stand-up?
What was that?
Who did you like in stand-up?
Well, actually, my very first person, I guess I would have to say Dennis Leary.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to his No Cure for Cancer just over and over again. Not such a big fan of him now, knowing more about me, but, mostly has to do with his politics. But Sarah Silverman. Yep. She's definitely an acquired taste, for sure. But trying to think of some other people that I really enjoy. I like Mark Maron.
Yep.
Another one.
I love his podcast.
Yeah. I guess I'm not particularly, totally infatuated with any one particular stand-up. I know that sounds weird, stuff I do. If you could say that there was a comedy producer, that I was totally infatuated with, obsessed with, every in and out of, that would probably be Trey Parker and Matt Stone, which is weird because they're not stand-up. It's just the humor style I like. But I have certain jokes of different comedians all over that are kind of favorites of mine. Oh, I forgot to mention one of my favorite local guys. I have to be. Have you ever seen Scott Capurro?
Who?
Scott Capurro.
Scott Capurro. I don't think I know him.
He's just wonderful. He's a comic who performs a lot in the Bay Area, and he is one of those people that's very. I like humor that's very edgy, and inappropriate, satirical. Kind of crosses the line, and that can be really dangerous. I love it. I enjoy it. I don't really have the courage to do a lot of it myself. Hopefully, I'll develop that someday. But to create that kind of humor, you got to take a lot of risk, and you have to be really comfortable with really pissing people off and offending them. Yeah. But when it's done well and done right, it's absolutely amazing.
Well, once you have a huge audience and you're playing to huge audiences, mostly it's not going to matter anymore because they're just part of it, and a lot of all that outrage culture that we have today, it's mostly it's news oriented.
Mhm.
It's mostly just bullshit to stir the pot, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention to it. But
yeah.
So what year did you start doing stand up and where at?
Okay, I want to say I think it was about 2010 in Portland. It was shortly before I moved to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much in retrospect, what happened. I kind of could have used a little more time in Portland, just developing my act and my voice, and maybe doing more mic shows, but it was dual purpose. I was really bored of Portland and wanted to move out anyway and kind of use stand-up as an excuse.
Yeah.
Part of it is I visited the city and really loved doing it. I love San Francisco. But Portland is where I started. It's got a really nice community. They've got a really good comedy festival, a really strong, well-known comedy festival now. But that's where I started. But what's nice about Portland is when I came to San Francisco, there was a whole a lot of people working on the marketing side. How are you going to brand and package yourself? And then there were a lot of bringer shows.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that. The pressure. It was that. It seemed like there was a time in San Francisco where if you want a bringer, it seemed like you couldn't get booked, because that seemed to be all that people were cared about.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone, and so it was just too stressful, because I felt like I was constantly, trying, the few friends that I had, I was trying to get, use them to buy tickets to somebody. It just felt weird. And so a lot of, my time was spent worried about, selling tickets to shows. I mean, I know that's important and you should promote your shows, but a lot of my time was spent just worrying about that bullshit and how I'm going to brand myself rather than what I should have been worried about, which was just learning my craft, working on it, and actually finding my true voice and not just what I thought was going to please an audience or get me shows or whatever. But, you learn.
Yeah. Were you nervous the first time you went up on stage?
Yeah, I was. I really, really was. What's weird though is because I've done theater for years before that. I was used to being on stage and everything, but the pressure to be funny is a very different thing because you're trying to get a very, very specific result you have to get from that audience, and that's an audible laugh. Or else comedy's not working. It's not like you're acting in a play where it's left up to interpretation. Maybe somebody will think the character's funny, or maybe they'll cry, maybe somebody will express their feelings silently. But with comedy, you've got to elicit a very physiological, specific response. Mm-hmm. And that's scary. That's hard. It's really hard to do. So yeah, I was nervous the first time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What are your favorite topics to joke about?
I would say probably anger, negative emotions, kind of the darker side of human nature, kind of, my own personal, misanthropy, did I say that right? Not that I'm a negative, people-hating person, but there is that big side of me, and there is this whole, especially with American culture, you put your best face forward. Extrovertism is pride. Positivity is pride. Being one of those naturally smiling, and that's pride. And if you're not like that, you really feel put upon, and you feel like people are constantly picking on you and trying to force you to be that kind of person. That you get pissed off, And so a lot of my humor really comes from that. More recently, but now, like I said, it took me a long time to really discover that. I mean, I used to just do jokes about dumb shit, like dating, or because for some reason women comics always feel like that's something they have to start with, and I don't know why. I would say, I don't know if that answers. I try to keep comedy as personal into my life as possible.
Yeah.
Just because that kind of, I can be edgier when I'm talking about my own self or something without offending people because it's, close to my life, close to who I am. And also, if I'm busy, I don't have to pay attention to the news. It's just joking, not. But, and then also I think as a comic, when you're watching a lot of comedy and you are performing a lot, you will hear jokes and you'll think that they are your own.
Yeah.
Or you'll file it in your memory, and then maybe 3 years later you'll think of a joke that you're actually pulling a memory of what you saw from someone else. And I think, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I think that if you keep your jokes personal to your life, to your own specific experiences as much as possible, I think you can cut down on some of that. Yeah, I like to call it accidental stealing.
Yeah.
I mean, we take in so much crooked information in this day and age. I think that's how a lot of this quote joke stealing might be happening that comes up every now and then. I think there are comics that do purposely steal jokes, but I think sometimes it's just a straight-up accident. And so what I like about thinking, I could be wrong on that. I haven't done any scientific research or anything, I think if I keep it close to my own experiences, very specific, I can cut down on that. So that's why I try to do that.
Mm-hmm. So you grew up in Oregon. When did you move to the Bay Area?
About 2010. So yeah, I must have started comedy in 2009 in Portland, if that was the case. Yeah, because I moved in March of 2010 to the Bay Area.
Yeah, 2010's the year I did my second run of stand-up, because I started in 2006, and then I took a year off, 2009, 2010, and then I went back to it and stuff. Mm-hmm. The first time we met was when you booked me for that club gig in 2015 after I got out of the hospital. Yeah, and you came to drive me there, I remember. And
yeah.
I don't know.
I always like to help people out and stuff. Yeah, I actually started in the Bay Area and then quit for a year. I kind of tried to start up again, and then I quit. So yeah, I took a good think stopping and starting comedy, I'm noticing, is like kind of common. I think it can be hard to just, really stay in it and stay hustling at it, without taking those breaks.
Yeah, I've taken 4 non-consecutive, like half a years off of doing comedy in the 12 years for personal reasons and stuff. But yeah, I remember that night though, and yeah, you were so sweet. You were like one of the nicest comics I had met up to that point.
Oh, thanks. That's good to hear. Yeah.
Oh yes, I sincerely mean that. Yeah. And
oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I don't know why I was wearing that suit that night. I just thought it was going to be like a really big show, and there was only like under 10 people there. Remember?
Yeah. Well, it was the Underground SF. I wasn't sure how many people were. It's a music club. What it is, they do a lot of electronic house, techno, all that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that not everybody knows Underground and the size of the venue, but. It was a good little show, and it was really starting to do well. But we were doing it in tandem. I don't know if that's the right word. We were doing it in conjunction with the DJs that did like a thing afterwards. Like they had, but they stopped doing that, and the owner couldn't stay open for an hour to justify. That doesn't make sense. And so that's why I stopped doing it. But I was really finally starting to pick up an audience, get the word out. So I was bummed to have to stop that. I mean, I live in Alameda now, so maybe I can put something up there when I get a fit.
Yeah. And I remember before I went on stage that night, I took my pain medicine, and that pain medicine was prescribed Oxycontin, right? And so my delivery was very forced when I went on stage, and I still have the video of it on YouTube. And
did you still have to take the Oxycontin, or
it was prescribed?
How's that going?
It was prescribed
okay.
From the hospital, yeah. And that actually became the last night I ever took it, because the next day I realized I just hate that hangover, and so I started to deal with the pain after that. After like half a year taking it, I just couldn't deal with it no more. But yeah, I remember you drove me home. You were a little buzzed on wine, and
yeah,
I remember I told you something, and you said something so funny. I still quote it to this day. I told you about how deep my belly button is, right? And you said, "Wow, I bet you could fit crystal meth in there."
Oh, probably, yeah. I'm a big maker of drugs or something, yeah.
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 I love that. I still
quit
quote it.
drinking about a year and a couple months ago. So.
You what?
I quit drinking about a year and 2 months ago.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, I've been sober 3 years now. 3 years I've been sober.
So why did you? I know your accident. Were you on driving, or was it your friend driving?
My now ex-friend was driving. We were coming back from the city drunk.
Is that when you made the choice to quit drinking, or?
Well, I had no choice to quit drinking. My liver was pretty bruised, and my doctor said if I drank, I would have a bleeding ulcer.
Oh, so that's inspired the choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he said it'll be probably until I'm in my early 40s where I could drink again, but I don't want to,
Okay. Well, the thing is, though, how is oxy though on your liver? Is that stuff hard on your liver? So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I drank every day for 4 years leading up to that point.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, once it's sometimes, I think that whole habit is a real progressive thing,
Yeah.
So, and that's the point I got to. I think once you're doing that, you do, that is, drinking every day I think is too much. Some people might argue with me, but that's what, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should really be something that's very occasional, and something you need to keep occasional, because it is, yeah. I mean, there's some health benefits to red wine, and I'm not like a doctor or anything, but definitely for me, it's the better way to go.
So you've played Rooster Teeth Feathers recently, right?
I tried their Brent and I tried their competition again. I haven't done that in years. I usually shy away from competitions because they make me feel stupid because I never win. I don't know what trick or what likability or just be funnier. They just always mess with my head. But what I noticed this last one is that I had fun. I usually let it mess with my head like I usually do.
Yeah.
So I'm getting better about that, about just being competition with another set and, it's not fair. But yeah, that's what I get out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with Rooster Teeth Feathers. I was a fixture there for 8 years, and this last time I was there, they finally went too far with me, and I was really mad. The last 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
What?
What happened?
Well, the last 3 years that I've been pursuing comedy, they've been very, not so friendly to me, and they've been kind of mean. And this last time, I came into town for a week because I live up in Reading now. I came into town to do some sets for my America's Got Talent audition, right? And I was scheduled to go on Wednesday night, and for the first time ever in the 8 years I've been going there, I was late. And the manager, Jen, she's only been there a few years, but she's always been a bitch to me. She, yelled at me, and just, it was really embarrassing. And so I wrote this long email to Heather telling her, this has been going on for the last couple of years. They've been treating me like shit, and now they went too far. She yelled at me and all this stuff, right? Never heard back from her, and I don't plan on performing there on a Wednesday night ever again after that.
Oh, geez. Well, how late were you?
I was an hour late, and it was all because of another ex-friend of mine who flaked out on me to give me a ride. Usually I take train, but I really wanted to ride that night, and I didn't feel like taking train. But then I had to. I had no choice. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, an hour is kind of long, but still, it's sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Have you played the Improv or the Punchline or Cobb's yet?
Well, when it's been years. I used to get up at the Sunday showcase quite regularly, but then I quit comedy for a while, and I just now started going.
Yeah.
And they do have a thing where you kind of show your face.
Yeah.
I think should they fill out eventually with a chance to go up, but Cops is the one venue I've never performed in. They're supposed to do this. Probably, I think they're having some kind of regular open mic there. I might try to get on that to kind of get my feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I'm not really in a hurry to necessarily play any place or kind of do anything because I'm really having fun with what I'm doing with my set, And I told myself that this time around I wasn't going to get caught up with any. I need to be performing at these places with these people, blah, blah, blah. But I was just going to see what happens. I know that sounds dumb and non-ambitious, but that is really what's supposed to be. Now comedy serves a very different purpose than it used to because it really helps me not drink.
Yeah.
It's that something about it satisfies the same whatever was in the brain that drinking did, I guess. But it's going a lot better this time when I'm just taking it kind of in a very moment way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's good.
Cops is a little intimidating because there's a huge stage and this huge cave, and there are shows there all the time, and I probably should be putting out a bigger effort, but everything in its time. My set's not quite. My more concern is I can actually feel since I'm sober on stage. I can actually feel what's working and what's not, and I can feel there's a connection, and I'm really doing that. And there's a lot of stuff in my set that I want to polish up and change. I feel before I do any bigger venues or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus think about smaller crowds, you can actually talk to the people. That's what I like. The thing about any club, a lot of times the lights are right in your face. You really can't see the people's faces. And I still haven't found a way around that.
Yeah. Are you good at crowd work?
What's that?
Are you good at crowd work?
Crowd work? I would have to say no, not as well. I'm just starting to branch out and play with it more.
Mm-hmm.
But I really haven't. Crowd work has to be learned through trial and error. and that's an embarrassing process.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I guess, I need to, that's really what I should be using some of my open mic time for, to go and just, you have to be willing to fail, because crowd work, you ask questions and you play off what the person says,
Yeah.
There's some improv in there, and that kind of scares me because then I'm giving up some control. But, it's an important part of stand-up. But, yeah, so I think I just need to go through a big old trial and error process to get good at it. I guess I'm kind of putting that off right now.
Yeah. Have you done any comedy festivals or competitions?
I've done a lot of competitions. I think I made semifinals in one little one. But festivals is another area. I've applied for a few and haven't gotten in, but I think I went too big. And these, I think that, I'm going to look into, applying for maybe smaller festivals.
Yeah.
Or doing more, but right now I'm trying to, I need to get a new tape of my current, a good tape of my current set, that I'm currently working with.
Yeah.
To send off, but, I could, that's something definitely I haven't really been, but, and at first, my excuse was, I don't have to travel anywhere, blah, 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 but really I could probably make it work, if I put my head to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I know there's like a couple, comics I know have made a list of the festivals and there's some days. I should probably look into that. Right now, my life is such where I am, I'm trying to get, financially, really secure and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working a lot of hours, and literally my life is work, run to whatever kind of comedy thing I can get my nose in that night, go home and crash. And it's really hard to kind of make a plan for myself, and it's just a constant going, so I'm just trying to strike a balance there.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
One festival I'm going to try out for again, I did in 2015, is the Burbank Comedy Festival. They have the auditions every December at Rooster Teeth Feathers.
Oh, so that's what you go audition for? Oh, okay. Usually you submit a video or something.
You can't. You can do that, but you could also audition in person at Rooster Teeth Feathers. So that's probably the only other time I'm going to perform there is for that audition again.
Oh, okay. I should check into that because that's something that I could drive to, and I know people in LA I could stay with if that works. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't like LA. I should probably give it another chance. My sister keeps trying to get me to go down there with her to give it another shot, but I had a horrible time. The first time I was down there driving, just because the drivers were such dicks. Oh my god. And then I went to the Hollywood Boulevard, and there were all these fucking yokels from like Middle America. Just look, there's Marilyn Monroe's store. Let's get a picture with it. And I'm like, oh my god, get me away from fucking down.
Yeah. I love it down there. I'm trying to move.
Another shot, though. Yeah, I mean, I love the weather. I didn't have a good first intro to LA. I should give it another shot, though. I really did. Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself going with stand-up comedy?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm terrible at long-range plans. Always have been. I'd like to perform. If I could perform on a bi-weekly basis, would keep me happy. I'd like to do more, and it's stupid because I should be doing it. Like, I'd like to do more like written comedy production or visual comedy productions. Be part of writing for a comedy website.
Yeah.
I'd like to branch out more with that because I find it's really being funny on paper is a very different animal and satisfies a very different part of my brain.
Right.
I don't want to be a road comic because I really, now that I'm not drinking, I really enjoy stability.
Yeah.
Having a nice, stable relationship, a family, being very, set in one place. I'm very much a homebody. When I move somewhere, I like to stay there, and I'm all about travel. I like to travel. But maybe go to New York. But I don't see myself constantly being on the road. I think it'd be very destabilizing for me. That's not the way I like to do it. And I think being on the road a lot is like to be a performing stand-up comic. I mean, that's the requirement as far as everything I've heard. I don't see myself living in LA. I really love living in San Francisco or near San Francisco. Nobody live in San Francisco anymore. So, I mean, I'm not really sure that's what's going to look like. I mean, this time around, I'm really rediscovering comedy and everything. So I know kind of what I mean. I guess, I'm not telling you what I want. I know what I don't want from comedy,
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of it not being a full-time job, because once it's a full-time job, then you're reliant on it for the sustenance and everything, and then for me, I think it would become just very personal, and I might start drinking again, and things work out the way I wanted them to. I might be putting too much stress on it. That's just for my job. So like I said, I'm not going to, I guess one thing I could see myself doing is like maybe, like working for a club or something. Well, Ron By, what he does now. I could see, that might be something I enjoy doing. The part about his job that would probably really suck is having to deal with comics wanting to get stage time all the time and manipulating, because, comics, there's a lot of asshole fucking comics out there.
Yeah.
And I have no problem saying that.
Oh, yeah.
In front of a bunch of comics, They know they're assholes.
Oh, yeah.
Psychologically balanced people don't do comedy.
Yeah.
I can be an asshole. I mean, I can really be, I just manipulate in a very different way. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I like that honesty. So are you dating anybody right now?
Huh? No. I work. That's very much the thing. Yeah. So I ranked up, during my drinking years, doing a lot of stupid shit. I really ran my life into the ground. So the last year has been coming, really back from that. And I'm trying. My goal right now is I'm actually, and I'm getting to the point where maybe like in a couple weeks or a month or so, I won't have to work as much. And I'll actually have time for a social life, or because basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looks like for me. It's really hard to keep up with costs in the Bay Area. And when you're trying to actually have a social life and do comedy on top of working, I mean, that's a plate full right there. You basically, I'm actually trying to do more stuff than I really have time for. And it's literally driving me insane. But
yeah, I'm just focused on my career. Ever since my accident, I've had no desire to like date or be in a relationship. I just want to focus on my career, and I honestly, I am very horny. What I would like is a chuckle fucker.
What's a chuckle fucker? Is that a new word?
It's a comedy. It's a comedy groupie.
I've never heard that term before. I've heard the term groupie. But comics have groupies? I don't know. So.
They're called chuckle fuckers.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I'll have to write that. You'll have to submit that to Urban Dictionary.
I don't think you'll find it in any dictionary, but like that's what's been called in like recent years and stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What color do you have your toenails painted?
Oh, it's like this. It's like a steel blue. I don't know what it's called. It's like a gray. Like a gray blue color. It's kind of hard to describe. It's like a very gray steel color.
Mm-hmm.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah, I got pink.
Pink? Oh wow! So you paint your toenails?
Oh yeah, I have since I was 13.
Uh huh. Yeah. I know a lot of. Who paints their toenails a lot is rock climbers.
Who?
Rock climbers. Apparently, I heard this, that rock climbers, I dated this guy once, and he painted the first guy I'd ever seen, he painted his toenails. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why the fuck? He got his toenails painted. I mean, I was a real judgmental bitch at the time, and I'm like, you're a dude. And I found out when he was a rock climber that, when you're rock climbing, apparently your toes get really bruised up and discolored, and that's why they paint their toenails. That's what but it's been years since I've heard that, so maybe, times have changed. But
wow, because I heard... Well, because I heard in my hometown, San Mateo, the firefighters get pedicures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they all go together.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it's like one of the quote-unquote dark secrets of the San Mateo firefighters.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your favorite joke of all time?
I don't have a specific favorite one. I really, yeah, I'm not really a person with heroes and favorites. I can't say that I really have one. I could mention a couple favorite jokes that local San Francisco comics are doing right now, if you want to hear those.
Of course.
There's this guy, Adam Perlstein, that does this joke. He talks about how he's a tour guide, and the Golden Gate Bridge, he talks about giving tours to the Golden Gate Bridge, and the kids go, "Hey, what's all this fog?" And in the joke, he says, "That's not fog. Those are the souls of all the people that have jumped off the bridge." I just think that is hilarious. Jason Mack, he's another local comic that does this joke about it's like a child murder joke. He talks about I was being hit on by this 12-year-old at work, and I was so uncomfortable. It's like, how could her parents let her think this was okay? I was so uncomfortable with her hitting on me, so I killed her. But at least I'm not a pedophile. And then he goes off to but yeah, it's really. But those are two of the most recent jokes I heard, and I told these dudes like, oh my god, I love that joke. Stuff like that, I don't know if he does this in his app yet, but Mean Dave, he wrote this joke he posted on his Facebook wall. So funny. It was it was his birthday. My birthday's coming up, and I want how people are donating their birthdays to a cause.
Yeah.
So he goes, I want you guys to donate. You get these things like, this person's donating money to this cause for their birthday. He goes, my birthday's coming up, and I want you guys all to donate your body to the earth as soon as possible.
That is pretty good.
I know they're, so those three, I'm just like, those are like three jokes that I've heard. It's like, oh my god, I'm going to kill you guys so I can take those jokes from you. No, I wouldn't, they're nice guys. I would kill them. But there's good jokes. It's like, oh my god, I wish I thought of that, because that's a good joke. Yeah. So, but that just kind of, I guess, like that there, what gives you the kind of idea, the kind of humor that I'm drawn to.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, if those guys, if I ever, if those guys, if any of those three guys ever die, I'm going to try to steal those jokes from them. Just kidding, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I love real dark humor. My favorite joke of all time is this one Eddie Murphy said on Delirious to a couple 13-year-olds in the front row. He said, a bear and a rabbit are taking a shit in the woods. The bear says to the rabbit, "Excuse me, sir, do you have a problem with shit sticking to your fur?" The rabbit says no, so the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
No, so I've heard that one before. It's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I have my own punchline. The rabbit died from the stink.
Yeah, oh god, I do remember that. I remember hearing that joke, but it did gross me out. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of poop. I don't like the poop emoji. I don't want to hear about poop. I mean, if I were God, there would be no buttholes and there would be no poop. I think that is the grossest thing on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I hate it. I hate any talk of poop. I mean, I have friends that are just like in love with the shit emoji, and I'm like, why, dude?
I'm not.
No.
I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love.
Hey, listen, I'm actually at work, and I have to change into this stupid uniform and clock on a little bit. So I am gonna have to get going.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, do you have any upcoming gigs you want to promote?
Okay. Actually, I have two this week. They're both in the Oakland area, and I'll be sharing that information by tomorrow. That's literally how busy I am. I haven't been able to update my schedule. But if people want to go to my Facebook page, also you can read, all the stupid stuff that goes in my mind. It goes if you look up Nicole Turley, but if you go Nicole Turley World, that's my Facebook. That's how you get to my Facebook page. You'll find me there. And so I'm going to be listing that there.
Okay. Nicole, thank you so much. I'm glad we did this, and
Well, thank you. Yeah, sorry I couldn't be longer, but yeah, I'm scheduled pretty. Yeah, I'm scheduled pretty tight right now.
Well, I'd love to have you back on soon, and we'll go longer.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for the time. I hope you have a great day.
You too, and don't work too hard.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it, Nicole Turley. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Nicole. That was a really fun, insightful interview into the Bay Area stand-up comedy scene. Nothing much to say beyond that. I know I've said in the previous episodes with all the other Bay Area comedians, but that's all I got for that subject. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.